worse if you heard this from somebody else. I know you hate me. I know I hurt you. But there's more. Listen. Watch this. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I can say, my chick on the side says she got one on the way. These are my confessions. Man, I'm thrown and I don't know what to do. I guess I gotta give part two of my confessions. If I'm gonna tell it, then I gotta tell it all. Damn near cried when I got that phone call. I'm so thrown, I don't know what to do but to give you part two of my confessions. Now this gon' be the hardest thing I think I ever had to do. Got me talking to myself, asking how I'm gon' tell you about that chick on part one I told y'all I was creeping with. Say she's 3 months pregnant and she's keeping it. The first thing that came to mind was you. Second thing was, how do I know if it's mine and is it true? Third thing was me wishing that I never did what I did. How I ain't ready for no kid and bye-bye to a relationship. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I could say, my chick on the side said she got one. These are my confessions. Man, I'm thrown and I don't know what to do now. I guess I gotta give part two of my confessions. If I'm gonna tell it, then I gotta tell it all. Damn near cried when I got that phone call. I'm so I don't know what to do but to give you part two of my confessions. Sitting stuck on stupid trying to figure out when, what, and how I'ma let this come out of my mouth. Said it ain't gonna be easy, but I need to stop thinking, contemplating, be a man and get it over with. I'm riding in my whip, racing to her place, talking to myself, preparing to tell her to her face. She opened up the door and didn't wanna come near me. I said, one second, baby, please hear me. These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I can say, my chick on the side said she got one on the way. These are my confessions. Man, so gone, so gone. What to do? Yes, I gotta give you part two of my confessions. If I'm gonna tell it, then I gotta tell it all. Damn near cried when I got that phone call. When I got it, I'm so thrown, didn't know what to do. I don't know what to do, but I need to tell you, baby. Confessions. This by far is the hardest thing I think I've ever had to do. To tell you, the woman I love, that I'm having a baby by a woman that I barely even know. I hope you can accept the fact that I'm man enough to tell you this, and hopefully you'll give me another chance. This ain't about my career, this ain't about my life, it's about us. Please. Didn't know what to do, but I need to tell you, baby. And this by far is the hardest thing I think I've ever had to do. To tell you, the woman I love, that I'm having a baby by a woman that I barely even know. I hope you can accept the fact that I'm man enough to tell you this, and hopefully you'll give me another chance. This ain't about my career, this ain't about my life, it's about us. Please.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Conversations and Confessions. I'm so honored you are here with me again another week, and I have an awesome guest with me this evening, and you in for a treat, so I hope you all have your beverage. You know I always have mine, and I'm drinking my Moscato, and I'm going to get into her introduction so we can get into our interview, and she's going to perform live. We're going to play some of her music, show her video, and just let you all know what she can do. Cecily is a talented young vocalist and songwriter from Washington, D.C., making her mark on the music world. Cecily has been influenced throughout her life by powerful vocalists, songwriters, and trendsetters such as Whitney Houston, Lauryn Hill, Adele. Guiding all of her writing and recording is the rich appreciation for the instrument that is the voice. A decade of study and performance provides a secure foundation for this seasoned soprano who now performs with confidence and ease. All right, so how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Just trying to settle in from some of this heat. Today it's been hasn't been as hot as it has been, but
Yeah, I was actually disappointed because I actually went to the pool today. And it was like
it wasn't as hot as it has been.
It was not a good pool day. It was not at all.
Okay, well, I gave a little bit of your background. You walk from Washington D.C., Washington D.C. area, and you have been singing for how long?
I mean, I've been doing it professionally now for about 2 years. But I started singing when I was about 12 years old.
Okay.
And I'm 25 now, so it's been a while.
When did you discover that you had a voice?
Well, I used to sing to myself a lot because I liked the way that it felt. It's vibration, so it feels good to sing,
When you can sing. It feels good to sing when you can sing.
I mean, even when it just feels good to let it out, So I used to sing to myself a lot, and sometimes people would overhear me because I was very shy, so I didn't want anyone to hear me. But every now and again, someone would overhear me, and they say, "Oh, you sound really good," So that kind of put it in my mind, and then from there, I just happened to see one day a sign on in the arts center, my local arts center, advertising voice lessons. So I asked my mother if I could do that, and I started that when I was about 12. Yeah.
Okay, well that is awesome. So just give us a little bit about your background as far as the type of music. Or how would you classify your music, and what type of songs do you write?
Okay, well, yeah, I call my genre Acoustic Pop Soul, and the basis of that really is soul music, and it's also strongly influenced by folk and jazz as well. And I mean, in terms of what I write, it's mostly love songs.
Okay.
It's mostly love songs. I've been pushing myself to kind of write about things outside of romantic love, write about self-love, finding yourself, write about family, things like that. So, I think my next project is going to be a little broader in terms of the themes and stuff.
Okay, but you find yourself just naturally drawn to the topic, the love topic?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I can definitely relate as a writer. That just seems to be where my mind goes when I'm whether it's a new love, a breakup, just talking about those feelings and emotions about,
Yeah, because I mean, when you're feeling really emotional, you need something that's healing, and writing is very healing. So it's just natural, I think.
So I want to just let everyone know, Cecily and I were friends on Facebook, and one morning I get up late, so I was an interview was on. You was doing an interview on, I forget the name of the TV show, but it was on Ion. The only time my TV is on Ion because I do not have cable. But anyway, and I didn't have my contact, so I couldn't really see the TV. But I heard her say, saying your name, and I was like, wait a minute, Cecily, that sounds familiar. I think she's one of my Facebook friends. So that next day or the next day or two, that's when I inboxed you and asked you if you would be a guest on the show. So I think you never know when you're going to see people that you're connected to.
Yeah, so, definitely. I appreciate you reaching out, and I'm glad that your TV is usually set on Ion.
It's on
because
Ion.
That show comes on at 6 a.m. It's called Metro Magazine.
Okay.
And it comes on at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not up at 6 a.m. So I was like, I wonder who's watching the show, but I'm glad.
And I'm normally not up at 6. I think that was one of those roll over, readjust.
Right.
Because I normally don't get out the bed until about 8 o'clock.
Right.
So when I, rolled on, I said, that sounds familiar. So I had to search for my glasses and put my glasses on. I'm like, oh yeah, I think that's who that is. And so I'm thankful that we have this connection because I am a big fan of love songs. When I write romance novels, so I write to romance music. I'll put on some old school slow jams and just, get into a different zone. And your music puts me in that mindset of not more of the mainstream music today, but it kind of takes me back to some of those old school feelings.
Yeah.
So that I appreciate.
Yeah.
So, just talk about some of your what your journey have been like. Has it what have your challenges have been with being a singer?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely challenges with everything. I think the biggest challenge for me was that I didn't plan on doing this.
Okay.
At least not at first. I mean, I'm still pretty young. It's not like, life changes, but I went to school for political science.
Okay.
And Black Studies, and that's what I got my degree in. And, it was about midway through my college career that I decided that I really wanted to sing. And I had no idea where to start,
Okay.
I had no idea where to start. I have family members who are, like my sister, she's a dancer and she's a curator. My brother is a visual artist. So I had people in the arts around me, but I didn't really know a lot of musicians, professional musicians. My father had some friends of his who were professional musicians, but, it's kind of like people you see every now and again, every 2 years. Right. You're like, oh, Uncle so-and-so.
They're not there.
Yeah,
in your face
exactly. So
often.
I didn't know where to start at all. And it's a very steep learning curve. So I'm really blessed that my parents are very supportive. And my mother is also she knows how to get things done.
Okay.
So when I told her, I'm thinking about doing this, because I can be a little wishy-washy sometimes, So she always likes to make sure that I'm serious. Matter of fact, when I asked her to take voice lessons, she said, well, can you sing? I had to prove to her that I was had something going for me. So when I told her, I think I want to do music as a career, she just started sending me, I was in college, mind you, she started sending me through Amazon all these books on the music business and, just understanding everything so I could start educating myself about what I was getting myself into.
Because the music industry can be very cutthroat. It can be,
definitely.
It can be.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Unsung. Because
I love that show.
I am one of those people that I typically like artists that, well, they say a lot of artists, they not necessarily struggle, but they have a story to tell about how they got there. But I like the stories that we don't hear a lot about. Because, some of the artists, we pretty much know their story. But, but I like to hear about I don't want to call them the forgotten artists, but that's pretty much what Unsung really is. People who did not really get what they felt they deserved. Right.
Yeah, I love that show. I just love music history, specifically Black music history. So that show is one of my favorites, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Because I don't know if I should say this, but I got caught up on a lot of episodes at work. And I will be at my desk, and I wasn't ready for the emotions, like with Minnie Riperton's story. I wasn't ready for that. And
Tammy Terrell.
Oh man, because she had that. She had a brain tumor.
She had a brain tumor.
And then Donnie Hathaway. They still saying that people thought he committed suicide, but they said he had a mental illness.
Yeah.
And there were times when I used to sit by a back door. I would have to leave out the back door and kind of get myself together because I really felt just that connected to their stories, because especially the ones that were so young, because Minnie Riperton was 30 maybe. And I know Tammy Terrell was 24, 25 when she died. And it just...
That's so crazy.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So how do you feel when people compare your sound to someone else? Does it bother you when someone says, oh, you sound like Deniece Williams, or you sound like... Because to me, the first person that came to my mind was Minnie Riperton when I heard that. Because let's face it, it's not that many people that can honestly hit that high note.
Well, the thing is, I can't hit that high note. Honestly, that's why I think it's not that when people compare me to artists that I really love and admire and grew up listening to, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to know that they can hear my influences. Okay. To know that, they know that I'm rooted in something. And that I'm an extension of that legacy. That makes me feel really good. In terms of my sound, saying I sound like a certain person, that makes me a little nervous because
you gotta live up. Almost gotta live up.
Yeah, it makes me a little nervous, because a lot of people compare me or have compared me in the past to Minnie Riperton because the tone of our voice is similar. We both have like a very clear soprano, but that those really, really high notes it's called whistle register.
Okay.
And I don't have whistle register. At least I haven't discovered it yet. If I do, it's like a completely different type of singing than usual singing. It's very, some people could just figure out they can do it, but it's like very technically advanced, and it's also just a biological thing. You have to be built that way in order to do it a lot of the times. So, I feel a little bit of pressure, and I've never performed a Minnie Riperton song because
I think you should.
I know people are going to be expecting that, those glittering high notes. You're like, oh my God. And I can't do that. So I'm like, let me leave that alone. I'm going to do my own thing,
And that's, and trust me, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I just find that people who can, and I always use this, I always say honestly or genuinely can sing, because some people to me are just studio. I mean, they make a song and you see them live and you're like, oh my God, that's what is going on. It's like it's not the same person. I have actually been to concerts where people either sounded just like their CD or better than their CD. When I went to see Eric Benet and he was singing one of his songs, Sometimes I Cry, it sounded like that was the record. And I'm really impressed because I can't even carry a tune. I don't sing my children happy birthday when they were little, because I didn't want to embarrass them. So I'm like, y'all go ahead, y'all. I just know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. I have yet to do karaoke
ever
because I can't sing it. People are saying, well, that's the point. But I have so many friends that can. And after they get out there, I'm like, I'm not doing this.
See, but that's the thing is, like, I actually hate when I'm so far from my phone. I actually hate when I ruin things for my friends like that. Like, there'd be times we're, like, having, we're just in the car with the windows down, music on, everybody's kind of just, like, belting it out and stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm singing along, everybody else, and having a good time. And then everyone just slowly starts to quiet down and just looks at me. I'm like, come on, y'all, I wasn't even trying to... Just sing with me. Just have a good time.
Naturally. And I was glad that I was able to make it to see you perform live on Sunday.
I was really happy.
Because when that storm hit, I was a little nervous. I was thinking,
I know,
I don't know about this.
I'm glad it hit early.
It hit early, and I kept saying, well, if it clear out by 7 o'clock, then I'll be okay, and then I'll get down there. And I enjoyed that setting. It reminded me of, and I'm not comparing you to her sound, but the feel reminded me of like a Vivian Green show.
Oh, I love Vivian Green.
I love Vivian Green. And it bothers me because I felt like artists like her and Heather Hadley had to work a little harder because they didn't neatly fit into like what mainstream. So are you... have you even thought about if you wanted to take your career mainstream, or are you okay with what you're doing now, or which direction do you think you want to go?
I mean, honestly, I just want to be able to have a sustainable career as a vocalist and a songwriter, and that's the goal, And I think a lot of times that just has to do with finding your fans, finding your niche group, and if at some point I have 1 or 2 songs or a whole album or 5 albums that, go platinum, or people are playing on the radio all the time, like, that's beautiful. That's wonderful. Okay. But that's not what I'm trying to achieve, but only because if you try to achieve that, you're kind of putting yourself in this line where you have to just mold yourself after what's doing that. You have to mold yourself after Beyonce or Taylor Swift or Rihanna. Right. And I'm not interested in doing that personally, right, because it doesn't feel truthful to me. It doesn't feel natural to me. That's just not where I'm coming from. So for me, I'm not really interested in pushing myself to achieve like a huge commercial success. But if that happens, it's a blessing,
Yeah. One thing, because I always do my research on anybody that I interview, and one thing that I did hear that you said that it makes a lot of sense to me. You were asked if you thought it was the artist's responsibility to kind of fit into mainstream or give the audience what they want, and you said it was the artist's responsibility to stay true to themselves.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people really get that because they are after, which is, it's okay if they're after the fame, but I feel that that's why some artists disappear too quickly because they come out, they give people what they want, and it didn't feel honest, and it's like they couldn't live up to that anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I think the hard thing is that you have to kind of know who you are, which is, nowadays most artists, and even back in the day, like you said, even Tammy Terrell was only 24, and when she was, at the peak of her career at that point, people are just young. People are young, and they're still trying to figure out who they are, and so you're trying different things, and I think that the hard thing is that you just need to believe in yourself enough. You need to be comfortable with yourself enough to try out new things and not really care if anyone's gonna be feeling it, or besides,
That's
yourself,
great
kinda.
advice, because I don't think a lot of people hear that it's okay to venture out, try different things, and just see
You
what
have
feels
to.
good.
You have to. I mean, even I remember I saw an interview with Miguel once, who I always liked Miguel. When I first heard him, I liked him because he didn't sound like anybody else, and he was talking about how there was a point where he was really trying to make it, and he was kind of modeling himself after Usher.
Okay.
In terms of the dancing, the dance moves, and the kind of poppy R&B vibe. And he, went away for like a few years and came back and decided to do his own thing, And that's what worked for him. Because honestly, that's what people connect to, is just seeing you be yourself. That's what people really want the most, because that's what music is supposed to do for you. It's supposed to make you feel yourself more,
And that's and I guess that's what drew me into your music, because I'm a lyric person, because I write poetry and love stories. So when I listened to your music, I felt like, which a lot of people will feel like, oh, this is my story. She wrote this for me. Like I've lived this, or I'm living that. And so that's what I want to do. I want to take a quick break, and I want to play, let me see, Heaven in Your Eyes.
Yeah.
Before we go into the song, let's give them a brief history of how you came to write that song. That's
okay.
I try not to have favorites of different people's songs, but that's the one that stood out the most for me. It was Heaven in Your Eyes.
Yeah, I love that song. It makes me feel good. And when I heard the track, which is actually, the music is actually from, or it's a remake of a song from, I think, like 84, 85, 86, mid 1980s, by a group called RJ's Latest Arrival. They have a song. Yeah, they have a song called Heaven in Your Arms. Okay. And the producer had done a remake of the music and sent it to me. And, I just kind of vibed off that. And, it's like, because I am a poet as well. I do write some poetry. And so, especially in poetry, there's like this constant nagging, like, you got to be deep. You got to say something deep.
And I hate that.
And so I just wanted to write something that was really feel good and, was just still very honest. It's just saying, like, I have a crush on you. I really like you. I hope you're feeling me too. And this is how I feel. And this is how you make me feel. So, it's a straightforward song, but I just, I wanted to do something that was feel good and that was still, honest, but not like heavy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
And I got Tabby Bonet to be on it. So
did.
that was really dope.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And it's funny. It's just, I don't know. This song is just really, I guess that's where I am now. This song it describes my situation right now.
Yay.
So that's the kind of hard thing about relationships. When you like someone, you don't know if they're gonna like you the same way, or that's the scary part. So we're gonna take a quick break, and I'm gonna play Cecily's song "Heaven in Your Eyes," and that's from your newest CD. Your new CD.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the CD when we get back.
ahead and rock with it.
I got something to say.
Well, then hit them off the top with it. Yeah.
I hope you listen.
Yeah.
Honey, there is something you should know. I'm falling so in love with you. And I've been holding back for way too long. I'm done fronting. So here goes the truth. When I look at you, I see heaven in your eyes. And when you're holding me, I feel heaven in your arms. And when I think of you, I see heaven in my mind. Don't you know that you are everything I want? Honey, I know there is something here that's special. I hope you see it too. Cause when you're near to me, it feels so sweet and right, babe. Do you feel it too? Cause when I look at you, I see heaven in your eyes. And when you're holding me, I feel heaven in your arms. And when I think of you, I see heaven in my mind. Don't you know that you are everything I want? Life's too short to waste time when you know it's something real. And I can tell that I need you just by how you make me feel. Now that I've shown my hand, boy, please don't
Let's
let
get
me
it now.
down. And don't pretend that you don't like what you find. Cause when I look at you, I see heaven in your eyes. And when you're holding me, I feel heaven in your arms. And when I think of you, I see heaven in my mind. Don't you know that you are everything I
Let's get it now.
Just like heaven, just like heaven, just like heaven, just like heaven, just like heaven. You're just like heaven to me. You're just like heaven to me.
High up in the sky with it. Tampinay and Cecily, go ahead and ride with it. Love is what we speak of. PDA and all day and hugging me up. She is like an angel. I knew off the break was fake like I ain't know. You know I be playing love. Every day you were all that I could think of. I knew you had your wings when we synced up. Pretty little thing, the things guys dream of. Power couple team, we could go real far. When people see us, they be wishing like the shooting stars. I plan to make you mine by all means. You hit my soul like a bowl of collard greens. I feel the luckiest out of all the guys. And I feel true love when I look in your eyes.
Cause when I look at you, I see heaven in your eyes. And when you're holding me, I feel heaven in your arms. And when I think of you, I see heaven in my mind. Don't you know that you are everything I want? I see heaven in your eyes. I feel heaven in your arms. Heaven in your arms. Everything to me.
Okay, so that was Heaven in Your Eyes by Cecily. And just talk about your CD.
Yeah. So I put it out last month, which was cool. It's been good. I mean, I've been really busy. I'm my own manager, my own booking agent, my own PR person.
Mike, can you put it's the picture? You might just have to show them all till I tell you which one is the cover. It's the one, it has the flower background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a beautiful picture.
Oh,
the other
thank
one is
you.
The other one is the Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been good so far. I mean, when I first released it, I didn't have a big release party. I kind of am saving up for that a little bit, but I did like just a small listening party at my house.
That's okay. I hate to cut you off,
Yeah.
but listening party. My brother knows you. He's a music journalist. Marcus Moore.
That's your brother? That is hilarious. That's your brother for real?
And it's funny because I hate to cut you off like that, but I forgot to mention that to you. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because he is a music journalist, which I know he hates when I say that. I'm so jealous of the career that he's doing what he
writing
wants
is in the blood though.
Yeah. Because my sister, I have an older sister that writes. She does film. She teaches media at McKinley Tech. So and then I have another brother that's he's a musician. He plays the saxophone. So, but yeah,
like my family, all artists.
And he and this because I asked him. I noticed that we had a few mutual friends, and I saw that he was one of them. And I asked him if he was familiar. He was like, "Yeah, I went to her listening party." He said, "Tell her I said what's up." So
that's so dope.
That was just yesterday. So yeah,
cool.
Small world. World.
Hey, Marcus. Yeah, he was at the listening party. It was a nice little get together. I kept it really small. I mainly just invited because I actually the way I finished this project was I did a crowdfunding campaign. So a lot of my friends and family and even people I didn't know gave me money to help me get this project recorded, mastered, mixed, get the album art done. I redid my website. I did a lot of things with that. I raised about $7,000.
That's great because I was about to say because it can be it could be expensive. I always look at the I look at the music industry and the publishing industry about the same, and people don't understand it. It takes money, and then
it's a lot of upfront costs. So
I'm
them.
Always pushing for people to support, especially local artists and new artists. It just seems like the same artists. Sometimes it's in rotation, and I get it. I get why, especially on mainstream, and that's why I'm glad that a lot of people who have radio shows, internet radio shows, are starting to showcase more independent or local artists. Like Eddie Kane, he has a show here on Saturdays, and that's what he does. He promotes independent artists,
right?
Because I don't think that they just always have that platform. So
yeah,
it's great that he provides that platform for them, because I know it can be tough. So.
It is, and it's really about building community, which is why I had a really good time at my listening party, because I invited, like I said, people who gave to my crowdfunding campaign. I invited musician friends of mine, people who worked on the album, engineers, musicians. I invited people who have booked me for shows and things like that, and it was just nice to be around all those folks and have them all in the same room and kind of have them vibing to my music, to see people like really sitting around just listening and vibing out and tapping their neighbor like, oh, I love that bass line, or like whatever. You can always tell when something
hit the person because they throw their hand up or something, and that's kind of how it was on Sunday. It was I think a lot of people I know I'm amazed. I'm not going to say a lot of people because I don't know how they think, but I'm amazed at people who can just that you're singing live, which y'all hear her live in a minute, but that's just an awesome talent. I just think that is just something amazing. Do you feel yourself sometimes? I don't want to say downplaying your talent, but do you find yourself and people say it's good to remain humble, but you really have an awesome talent. So do you find yourself just kind of just wanting to keep it without being too...
No, I just, I am naturally a very humble person, but I also have a lot of confidence. Good. So when people ask me, they're like, oh, you sing? Are you good? Like, can you sing? I'm like, yeah, I'm very good. Good. I mean, I just say, because I feel that way. And I also know, as a singer, I know my limitations, and I know there's always ways I can grow and do better and do more. So, like, I do work on those things. But, I know I'm good, so I don't really downplay.
And it's funny because I asked that question because I have friends who can sing, and they'll say, oh, no. I'm like, yes, you can. But they said that, I guess they don't want to come across as arrogant, but You know, my thing is when you have a talent, you know, that's something to be proud of.
Right. And it's not even, just be honest. Like, if you're good, just say, yeah, I'm good. You know? Just own it.
Have you seen the video, not to get off topic a little bit, but have you seen the video when Venus was little?
Yes. And her father is like, no. Yeah. I love that. That's like one of my favorite videos.
She inspires me from the video. And she was a child. She was about 14 and 12, 13 or 14, about 14, I think. And the interviewer, in case you all haven't seen it, he's asking her if she thought she could beat whoever the opponent was.
Right.
And she said, I know I could beat her. And he says, you know, how were you able to say this with such confidence? And then he said, you're very confident. She was like, yeah, I'm very confident.
Right.
And then he's asking her all these questions, like almost trying to get her to second guess herself. And then her father comes from out the back and just goes off. So,
which is my favorite part.
He's like looking at stuff. You all haven't seen it. You Google that, because at 14 years old, you know, her dad was encouraging her to speak great things over her own life, because you have to have that confidence.
Yeah,
and so that's one of my favorite moments with just motivation. So what I want to do now, I want to get into, you have a video.
I do, yeah.
It's called Too Much.
Yeah, this is actually the first song I ever released. It's been a couple years now since it's been out, and I did a music video for it. It was actually, so I went to Swarthmore College, which is in Pennsylvania, and this is like an all Swarthmore production. I wrote the song with a classmate of mine from there. The song was produced by another Swarthmore alum, and then the video was directed and edited by another Swati, as we call ourselves. Okay. So yeah, it was like a community project. Yeah.
So what was the motivation behind the song? What's the story behind the song?
You know, it didn't really have a story. This was actually one of those ones. It's like one of those blessed moments where something just came to me. Like, it was I think it was a Saturday night, and I had a lot of work, and so I was like, I'm not gonna go out, I'm just gonna stay and I'm gonna read, you know. And so I'm reading and I just fall asleep, and I wake up, it's like 3:00 in the morning, you know. So I get up and I put on my pajamas. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to sleep. And I turn off the lights and I lay down, and like as soon as I lay down, I hear like the first line, and I'm like, I want to go to sleep.
But your mind was writing, so you had to get back
and
up.
I was like, okay, I'm not like turning on the lights or anything.
I know what that's like.
I couldn't, like, I didn't feel like turning on the lights. I was like, to write it down, I'm like, I'm going to be tired. I'm just like, so I just grabbed, luckily I was able to find my little tape recorder. This is before iPhones like had the voice, you know. So I found my tape recorder, and I just sat there and I sang like the intro, and then I put it down, and then I like slept for like a minute, and I woke up again and like sang the first verse and the whole song, bridge and everything. And then the next day I sat and I listened to it again. I was like, this is kind of good. So then I re-recorded it into my computer onto GarageBand, and then I sent it to a friend of mine. And, you know, he's worked out some chord progressions and stuff to go underneath of it. And, yeah, it really just came about like that. Like, it has a story, I guess. Like, you know how you're dealing with things subconsciously and then they just kind of come out. So. And
that's another song that it kind of, the lyrics just resonated with me, because especially in the beginning when you say, don't you want to know how I got here? Because a lot of times people... I looked at it from just a different perspective as far as for me, pursuing the things that I'm pursuing. People just look at you and don't realize how you got to this point. They just take for granted that, you know, you have it. Well, for me personally, it take me, I feel like people just say, oh, well, she's doing this, but you have no idea, you know, the things that I've done to get to this point, the struggle, the tears, and things like that. So, anyway.
And it really is a song about that. It's like, really, I know this is what you want from the outside looking in.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, it really is like, you know, kind of as an artist or as someone saying like, you know, I know what you guys want. I just can't give you all that. I know what you want this to be, and that's not what it is, you know? Yeah.
So, Mike, do we have that video ready? Okay, y'all. This is Too Much. You know, by Cecily, of course.
Don't you wanna know how I got here? Don't you wanna know why I stayed here? Don't you wanna hear this story of love? Watch it grow and slow. Don't you wanna hear the drama? Don't you wanna hear the pain? Don't you wanna see the smiling faces? How could they leave your heart unstained? But it
Okay, we back. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I know I just really feel every lyric in that, because I don't think people, like you said, people don't understand. They see what they see on the surface, which is normal, but they don't know, how you got to be where you are. But you have a treat but that's what I like to call it, an in-studio treat. You're going to sing live. Introduce the song that you going to sing.
Okay, so this song is called Real Love, and
CD.
it's actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to have favorites, but it's my favorite song on the project.
You can have favorites just like with children. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, exactly. That's how it feels. I'm like, am I allowed to have
not
favorites?
my children. I love them, in case y'all are tapped in. But
it's my favorite song on the project because it's just the most, all of them are very personal, but this one is the most personal because it came out of like a very specific experience, and I wrote it with a very specific person in mind.
Was this the long distance relationship?
Yeah, this song is about being in a long distance relationship. Right. Yeah, I tell that story, but it actually, and it's another one of those ones that kind of came. I was visiting because I was in a long distance relationship with this guy who lives in Ghana, West Africa, and I was visiting him, and we had like a really, really nice, tender moment, and then, I was like, he got up and went to do something, and I was sitting there, and then I just heard it, So I just, same thing, grabbed my little tape. I always have my tape recorder. Grabbed my little tape recorder, and I recorded myself singing the first verse and the chorus. And, I was like, and once I do that, I usually sit on it. I'll come back like a couple weeks later, listen back, be like, okay, that's good. Let me work on it more. So that's how that came about.
Yep, this is on our CD. The CD is self-titled Cecily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can get the CD from www.cecilymusic.
Yeah. CecilyMusic.com,
so
iTunes, Amazon.
Video. You all saw the video, but she has other videos on YouTube as well. And check out her music on her website. And we're going to get her music queued up so she can.
Yeah. So this is Real Love. There's that reverb, huh? When I'm in your arms, I know it's where I should be. It's a place that feeds my soul. And I don't see myself ever letting go, 'cause it's a place I can call my own. And I know I have wronged you with my careless words, but somehow you always see me through. And I know times get rough when I'm so far away, but you can trust that I'll always be true. 'Cause this is love, baby, ain't nothing less. I know we've got love, baby, we passed the test. Through all the hard times, we kept holding on. And I know that we'll always be strong, 'cause this is real love. People do ask me, why do I try? And I tell them the same each time. I say, when it's the real thing, you give it your all. I can't help but to treasure our bond. 'Cause when I look in your eyes, I find all that I need.
and more than I thought I deserved. And with your hand in mine, I know we'll always succeed, because we're willing to grow and to learn. Yes, we've got love, baby, ain't nothing less. I know this is love, baby, we passed the test. Through all the hard times, we kept holding on. And I know that we'll always be strong, 'cause this is real love. Each day I fall more deeply in love, holding you close to my heart while we're apart. Oh, this is love, baby, ain't nothing less. I know we've got love, baby, we passed the test. Through all the hard times, we kept holding on. And I know that we'll always be strong, 'cause this is real love. This is real love. This is real love. I know that we'll always be strong. This is real love. Real
Tell me that she cannot sing. I mean, that was live. That was in studio. That was, no studio gimmick. That was just real, honest, pure talent. So again, her CD titled, self-titled. Is that how you say that? Self-titled.
Yeah, self-titled Cecily.
Cecily. Is that
Cecily, yeah.
Oh, well, you should have been.
I know, my bad. I'm
girl. Because I'm funny about names, so it's Cecily.
Cecily.
Okay. Okay, I have to remember that. And also, Mike, can you, the banner at the bottom, I want to show her shirt. I'm not showing y'all my boobies. I'm just showing her. Can you? Yeah. So I have on her shirt.
Yeah, it's one of my t-shirts.
So I talked her into bringing them to the.
You did, and I sold a couple more too. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And also, I know I posted on Facebook when I lost my credit card. She's the person that found it. So I'm glad someone that knew how to get in contact with me found it. So thank you. It's, it's back in my possession. So again, I just want to thank you for just sharing your gift with the world, because people, like I said, I'm a huge music fan, and I'm just thankful for these lyrics, because I'm telling you, I could tell a story about my own life for each and every one of these songs. I really can. So anything you want to share? How else could I get to your music? I know you can get it from your website. Are you on iTunes or?
Yeah. First, I just want to thank you for having me.
problem.
Yeah, it really touched me what you just said, because that's why I do this. Yeah, you can find me on my website, which is cecilymusic.com, CECILYMUSIC.com. And there are links there that'll take you to iTunes, Amazon, if you want to purchase the album there. You can also order a physical copy of the album, and I'll sign it and I'll send it to you, put it right in the mail for you. On my website, you can also order t-shirts on my website. So
It don't come with me though.
Right, sure, lovely model. So thank you. So yeah, and you can also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. On there, I'm at Cecily Alexa. That's CECILYALEXA. And yeah, definitely reach out to me. I respond to everything. So
Okay, well, thanks again. And I'm going to close the show off with one of your other songs that I really like, Never Enough.
Yeah, I love
That's
this
another
one
favorite.
too.
So I'll see you guys next week. I'll have another treat for you. Next week, I'll let you guys know on Facebook what that is, the topic for next week. So see you guys later. This is Never Enough.
The rain on my window pane is telling me to stay at home. But the thought of being in your arms draws me out into the storm. I can't go a day without you on my mind. Maybe I can learn to let you go in time. Maybe it's never enough. It's never enough. It's never enough. Make love. It's never enough. It's never enough. It's never enough. Stop the pain. Driving in my car and all I want to feel is your embrace. Just a taste. Hoping that the love we make will be enough to stop the pain, to make me stay. The familiar can taste so sweet, so sweet, so sweet. Even when you know it's not what you need. But baby, yeah, it's never enough. It's never enough. It's never enough. Make love. It's never enough. It's never enough. It's never enough. Stop the pain. Get